Allow me to remind you that an epidemic of unknown origin has already eradicated a few genuinely distinctive towns in the northern part of the country. The cause and circumstances of these tragic events remain uncertain. There is a lot that we cannot explain yet. It appears as though the plague has a mind of its own, as if it is driven by some irrepressible will. Why else has no one managed to fight it successfully? Why does it target the most precious aspects of our existence? The sand plague picks its victims fastidiously, and the same principle always draws it back to whoever tries to oppose it. Surprisingly, we've yet to hear a single word from the powers that be.
Hey everybody, it's Chance here with yet another video game. This time it is Ice Pick Lodge's called Classic, a survival horror game, Pathologic. Specifically, it is Pathologic Classic HD, which is the kind of, not remake, but like revamp type thing of the original game, which was released in 2005. It is also a retranslation, because apparently in the original game, the English translation was very, very bad. This is a game I've been wanting to play for a while. I think I mentioned even in like a prior Let's Play that I was like, I'm probably not going to play Pathologic for this channel, but I do want to play the game, and even when I sit down to play it and I play it for a period of time, I always just stop because I'm never like in the mode for it. So I'm hoping, just like with Signalis, I will get to finally experience Pathologic. As of recording this, there was an announcement that people call it Pathologic 3. I haven't really looked too much into it because I don't really want to spoil it and spoil myself because I've already because I'm currently playing the game. But Pathologic 2, which is like a remake of the original game, specifically the Haruspex route, released in 2019, and that is a game I also want to play. I have played the very intro of that game before realizing that I want to play the original game. And then there's also, I think, a DLC or like an extra game that it features a later day for Daniel Dankowski, the Bachelor route. And I think Patho 3 is the Bachelor route itself, which is an interesting choice because to do it in that order, because the original game here, generally the most friendly way to start the game, especially since it is such an unfriendly game, is to start with the Bachelor route, because it kind of puts you in the best starting position to kind of learn the game and figure stuff out. So, yeah, so I played the first couple days of the Bachelor route in this game before, so I kind of know those pretty well. I don't really know much past that other than kind of, the broad strokes of the game and stuff like that. Um, for each of the routes, they're kind of dependent on you keeping certain characters alive by doing the main quest and by making sure all of them are alive by the end of the game. I think you could theoretically get the relevant endings for each of the 3 playable characters. Theoretically, I think, no matter which route you're on or scenario you're on. But my goal is to play all 3 of them. And then hopefully move on to Patho 2, and then sit down to play the new game when that one comes out. That might be forever away because I said I'd play Alan Wake 2, and I still haven't done that. And for those who have watched my other videos, there is a huge gap between this one and my last one. I went on a hiatus because I started a new job. It didn't kick in right when I started it because I was still getting adjusted, and I also had a backlog. If I played things a little smarter in the beginning, it would be no interruption or very little hiatus, but we live and we learn. So let's just kind of get right into it. I will be trying my best to genuinely play the game to start. I do have console commands. I have the way to turn that on unlocked, so if the game ever gets kind of unwieldy or just not conducive to me wanting to play it, I will just turn those on. I'm not above cheating in games to experience it, even though I know in this game part of the difficult and kind of miserable, there it is, miserable experience of playing the game kind of speaks to the game itself. Especially, with the idea of the player kind of being involved in the tragedy that is unfolding, and being involved, having to, in order to see the story through, take place in the survival aspect. But let's just get into it. I'm gonna press new game.
So, it's all about trickery to you? Wherever have you come from?
No. I detest trickery. But if we ourselves are to suffer deception, our hands are no longer tied. Where are we?
Well, the muscular contraction is there. Means we're already inside of him. This must be one of the ventricles, right here.
What a silly place. It's stuffed. So it's not real for now? I don't think it has started yet.
Does it matter what it's made of? It's definitely struggling. We need to perform sectio transversalis. Cut the wall. There's no other way out. What else is there to do?
I know what to do. Those who favor hard logic and direct action are bound to be misguided. Only a miracle can set us free without us having to destroy something. And I can do miracles. Just let me.
Will you please be quiet? You're a liar and a thief. Who is going to believe you when you keep lying to yourself? The truth is my shepherd. Whatever happens, I will find answers, and justice will be restored. I will perform the operation. Medica morbo adhibe.
Don't you go all bossy on me, clever clogs. You will act justly, but your justice will blind you and become his demise. This calls for the gentle hand of a surgeon. Step aside, both of you.
Your gentle hands are used to killing, not giving life. You will inevitably do harm. As for Brainy, he has no regard for casualties at all. Neither of you knows compassion.
Yes, it seems unlikely that we'll get along well, but there's only one truth.
Any choice is right as long as it's willed. That's the truth of the matter.
Only the heart will show you the right choice. Stop thinking about yourselves. Think of the sick. He's in pain. I can't see it yet, but I can feel it.
It's not even a trap. It's a grave. Subipsum funis sumus. Can't say I hold a soft spot for it.
I can see that. You're full of hate. Stuffed or not, it's breathing. I can hear it. It can be healed rather than killed.
You mean you won't become a killer? But you will! Mark my word, that's exactly what will happen. But I can avoid it.
No, we won't ever get along. I suggest we be on our way. The sooner the better.
Off we go then?
Let's go. The clock is ticking.
The start of this game is so good. That opening scene is just incredibly good. And the fact that you are starting by being an audience member, watching the performance of our main three characters is mwah. All right, so we're gonna start with the bachelor route, but I'm also gonna read the horror specs here. The changeling, we don't get to do this until we've done either route here, but you know, it seems generally recommended to do this one, and then this one, especially if you're a new player. There is something really interesting about doing this route first and then this route, you know, which is kind of the tact that the remake is kind of playing with, which is really cool. I'm curious to see what it is like as a full object once, you know, I beat this game and play that one. Especially since they're making separate games out of it, I'm curious how they're gonna how different the three stories are and how they update it for a modern audience. So, alright. Bachelor. The history of humanity witnessed a number of catastrophes that have demonstrated without a shadow of a doubt the pettiness of human achievement and the triumph of the invincible evil. Outbreaks of infectious diseases that have from time to time wiped towns and cities off the map undoubtedly are one among those. However smart and victorious, the people caught up in these destructive events have repeatedly come to the conclusion that it is no use trying to fight these circumstances. The best you can do is bite the bullet and cope with your losses. This is the story of a person who has managed to work a miracle and defeat a seemingly unvanquishable foe. Horror specs. How do they call him on the Menkyu? Faithful of the Wardenkin? Known by their hands, for they are butchers, known for their eyes, for they are surgeons, they who follow the lines, they who are the leaders of the kin, they who speak to the Urdugs, those who know the secret art of haruspice. What is haruspects? Reading the future in the entrails, he knows what the body bears semblance to the universe. His scalpel follows the lines of the body, his steps follow the lines of his kin's fortune. A haruspects that can tell a true line from a false one is entrusted with power. A haruspects who is confused by his path gets buried deep into the black flesh of the earth. This is the story of a person who has avoided the contradiction eager to rip a doomed life apart, masterfully fulfilling its true purpose in the process. I really like the writing in this game. I really kind of like the summation of their routes here too. I'm curious of what Clara's will say here. I know all their names. This is Daniel Dankovsky. This is Artemi Barak, and this is Clara. Clara. Like maybe we should get to get into it, but I am going in with information about this game already. But part of me wants to experience the narrative as it is.
Daniil Dankovsky, a Bachelor of Medicine, was brought here by circumstances most unfortunate. Dankovsky's life work, his theory challenging the existing notions of human mortality, is being harshly persecuted by the powers that be. Suddenly, a letter arrives from a colleague suggesting that there is previous undiscovered evidence which may support Dankovsky's claims. There is a settlement, the letter says, ruled by an extraordinary man who may well be seen as objective proof of Dankovsky's daring hypothesis. Grasping at straws of hope, Dankovsky decides to follow what he believes to be the sign of divine providence. Without further ado, he sets off for the settlement. Late at night, Bachelor arrives in the town. As he seeks room and board, he gets to know a girl called Eva Jan and stays at her place till dawn.
As of today, my mission remains obscure. The examination of Simon Kane, who is rumored to be a man of incredible longevity, may shake the very foundation of modern thanatology and challenge the existent notions of death itself. However, even in this undying Leviathan proves to be more than a fairy tale. The mere confirmation of his existence won't suffice to prevent the powers that be from shutting our laboratory down. I need to figure out the most fruitful approach. Simon is a well-respected man, and if he mistakes my interest for effrontery, it would be nigh impossible to convince him to help me break new ground in the field of human vitality. Day 1, by the end of which Bachelor finds himself battling a truly unvanquishable foe. Alright. Alright, so I am gonna open on this page so time doesn't keep moving. I am kind of following two main walkthroughs for this. Both of them are available. All of the guides I'll be using are available on the Steam community page. The first one is General Tips by 13 Ventrum, which is a very detailed guide and stuff on the game of like things that you might want to know. And I learned some things I didn't know about the game at that point. There is something interesting about going into the game not knowing shit, but you know, this is a hard game, so I do want to kind of go in with whatever advantage I can have. And the other one is the Bachelor spoiler-free walkthrough 2019 by James. It's a I will generally try to figure stuff out by myself, but due to the nature of like time in this game, I do want to utilize a walkthrough when necessary. Partially because I do want to try getting all the quests, because it is the writing that intrigues me most about this game, and like the and that is the way to get that, more than the gameplay itself. So. I Love the Bachelor's intro is directed. It's so good. Again, we're gonna see this map a lot. We're gonna know it inside and out. There won't be any question for anything. And again, like I would love to go into this being like, what's this? But like I know about the polyhedron, right? Like I know what it represents and what it stands for, and kind of that stuff. So yeah. All right. So let's just kind of get going. So this is where the Bachelor is staying in Evayan's house. This is the bed we can sleep in. This is where we can store stuff. You know, just a lot of places to stuff. There's a magnifying glass. Wow. We can access the quest log. We don't have anything in yet because nothing's really started. Oh, we got some letters here. Isidore Barak's message. My dear Bachelor Dankovsky, it was most disconcerting to note that the powers may be have the intention of shutting down the laboratory that owes its fame largely to your own research in the field of thanatology. Is it true that your detractors have branded your studies as scientifically stillborn? Rejoice, Bachelor, for there is an observable case that would quell the obscurance that reject the research of death, aging, and necrosis as a subject that lacks academic viability. This case, were you to document it, would go a long way toward restoring your reputation as a scholar. The subject in question is Simon Kane, who has ruled the town where I live for as long as I can remember. This man's longevity transcends the boundaries of what is plausible. It is phenomenal, no less, and I struggle to give an explanation of what scientific means I have at my disposal. Make no delay. There is a sensational discovery to be made here, a breakthrough that you will not only save your laboratory but also revivify your studies and greatly increase your scientific renown. Your humble servant and faithful colleague, Isidore Barak. P.S. I spoke to Simon on your behalf, and he has kindly agreed to facilitate your effort. Daring ideas and far-fetched projects are traditionally very well respected in our neck of the woods. I don't know if it's being picked up, but the children are yelling. There's a park right behind my right behind my apartment, and I'm like pretty close to town center. So not a huge surprise. It happens. There's a basketball field in the park. So, and let kids be kids. But just want to just say why if you do hear the yelling. So we're gonna equip the scalpel and we're gonna equip the gloves. So. Okay. Alright. I'm gonna make a save now. Yeah, as you can see, I've played through part of the game. Okay. Oh. But yeah, I'm gonna go to the map real quick. Alright, so, what we know. And another thing that I do know about the game is that one of the major themes of it is about lying and the lying and manipulation. So it kind of begs to question at the beginning of the game who knows what. And also at various aspects. Like I do want to think about that as a whole, about like what's going on, or at least what people believe is going on versus what they want to have happen. Oh yeah, here's our reputation, hunger, adherence. We don't have any yet because we haven't yet unlocked that, but I'm not super worried about it. So. Let's just get going. We can be here forever. I know, like I've just been talking about the game mostly, but I like thinking about the ideas that it brings. Also, I'll try my best to avoid it, but sometimes because of when I look around, my mouse will go to different monitors, and if I click, it'll click me out of the game. There's a lot of art in this game. Hello, why do you have a broken mirror, girl?
I had a feeling you would come.
Did the sounds from the outside wake you up too? There was a terrible groan, and then something snapped loudly. No, I heard nothing. I fell asleep so quickly that I didn't even notice. It's like I fainted. So what sounds are you talking about? I think there are strangers in the backyard, by the pond. They're unlikely to be planning mischief, but I have a bad feeling about this. I'm afraid to go out to them. I hope they go away soon and stop disturbing our sleep. Let's see. I'd like to thank you. Why do you think they aren't planning anything foul? Our population is so thin. Crime is basically non-existent, especially here in the Stoneyard. Sometimes there are pranks, of course. Fights happen occasionally. People are young here, so they often go out at night. But we're a tight community, and now I hear unfamiliar speech. That is not a good sound. I'll go out and take a look, but I'm in a hurry. I must see this founding father of yours. Are you willing to trade the company of a charming woman for that of a dreadful old man, even if he is a sorcerer? That's so sad. But Simon won't go anywhere. He is. He has always been. He always will be. Even if the moon were to fall to the ground. Please stay with me a little longer. Simon's a sorcerer. I couldn't imagine the hospitality here. Let's see. Simon is a sorcerer. Did I hear you right? Is that the secret to his longevity? Are you in that much of a hurry? Do come round. The Canes are asleep now. Take your knockabout coat off. Have a rest in my bed. Let me warm your hands. You are so anxious to see Simon, as though your life depended on it. These kids are like screaming. Okay. My life. Yes, now that my laboratory is on the brink of destruction, my whole life's pursuit depends on that remarkable man. If he has really managed to live that long, then his tissues will help me defeat death. Death. So that's the enemy you've chosen for yourself. Isn't it hard? I don't think anyone has managed to defeat that evil yet. Singular occasion, it's death itself, my memory's inevitability. I am challenging the forces of nature. I don't understand. I can barely understand myself. I like making Denel really, wordy. I feel like he can get into a discussion that no one else is really into. Forever. I can barely understand it myself. Could death only seem inevitable to us, but in reality be nothing more than a whim of the will that has shaped this world? That is the question. So where is the key to my victory? It's not far. The Canes live at the Crucible, on Bridge Square. But could I please offer you a piece of advice? Go on. Simon has two younger brothers. The eldest of the two, Gregory, is called the Judge by the locals. Visit him first. He isn't asleep. He'll teach you how to talk with Simon. The youngest of the three is Victor. His daughter, Maria, also wanted to see you. It's probably important. Was it she who knew about my arrival beforehand? Yes, she told me about it privately. Talking to her is no simple task. Maria is that kind of person. She puts on airs, but that's just how the Canes are. It was Maria who told me that she would help you defeat death. That is the precise wording. What a coincidence. All right, thank you for your advice. Go, and I'll prepare everything for your return. Do come back after you speak to the Canes. They will probably do a lot of things that will puzzle you and put you on your guard. I will have some advice that may be of help to you, if you need it. Okay, I'll come back. Alright, so we want to go to the Crucible, where Maria is. Simon Kane, and then Victor lives there, and then that's the cathedral. Alright. Bye. So. This first day isn't particularly complicated, in any real way. It's pretty straightforward. Venerable Bachelor, please be so kind as to linger for a minute. This conversation won't take up too much of your time, especially since time stops during dialogues, at least during the important ones. And our dialogue is extremely important. You need to know how to play after all, don't you? Play? What are you talking about, masked man? Who are you? Some other kind of stranger. Let's see. Play? What are you talking about, masked man? I'm neither a gambler nor an actor. Of course you aren't. You are a living, breathing man, as is evident from your conditions and statuses. You experience hunger, thirst, and fatigue. You suffer from pain, wounds, and diseases. You are so lifelike. You have to eat, drink, sleep, and rest, and to make mistakes. No, I don't. Not me. The latter being most definitive proof of my human nature, wouldn't you agree? I'm gonna characterize Denkovsky as not a guy who's like, no, I'm perfect, but of a guy being like, well, of course, that's what makes me so human, making mistakes. But I will also try to minimize my mistakes, but he'll also make so many mistakes. If I may, I would like to point out just how important it is to keep an eye on your condition. If you get dizzy or naturally sluggish, do have it checked up. Vital processes tend to run faster during emergencies than in everyday life. I knew a person who died of stress, but was diagnosed with starvation. It happens. I can testify to that as a doctor. Need I remind a wise man like you that the fact that hunger is sated with food can be found in shops, and shops can be found in ordinary houses that are marked with specific signs. Sleep, however, is more complicated. People only sleep in beds and only in private residences around here. I am sorry, that's just how our world is. Yes, the world is unjust. And quite silly, if you forgive me for saying so. Speaking of commerce, different shops sell different items at different prices. Make sure you don't get cheated. People can get quite brazen around here. You can also barter with the folk out on the street. Some things may be nothing more than trinkets to you, but others would be willing to part life's blood for them. Blood? Yes, blood. It's not my place to lecture you, but if, following your Hippocratic oath, you ever consider easing someone's pain, feel free to just approach them with a suitable drug. You will see their pain receding before your very eyes. The sick fall asleep when they're close to recovery, don't they? Or when they're close to their ultimate rest. Still, helping the homeless will grant you a good reputation. You will be seen as a benefactor, willing to part with precious sleeping draught or a painkiller for a simple bystander. Anything else? No, not yet. Show me the way to Simon's house. Turn left now and then walk along the alley. You'll see a cathedral and 3 mansions across Bridge Square. Simon lives in that one, and that is closest to the river. Thank you. Halt! I'm going to have to teach you about the technicalities of the setting, the time and place. It's non-essential, but that's how it is. An actor has to be prepared before he goes on stage, or else he'll fall down the aisle or stumble into the prompt box. That would look mighty silly, don't you agree? Speak, I'm listening. Time flies by, and it can't be stopped or turned back. Nights follow days, which are then followed by nights. Things happen without any regard to whether you're here to witness them. Don't expect anyone to wait for you. Most events can be missed. And so it would make sense for you to visit the places that you care about regularly. You'll find that people will play major roles in your fate there. They stand out from the common folk. The rest are just a common shot, a background, a bunch of extras, as it's always been. Indeed. Still, it is best to avoid hasty judgment. It's a paradox, you see. Don't care too much for the life of these bound-to-stand-out people, and don't be too dismissive of the silent crowd. Both extremes will end in tragedy. Why is that? The world cares for your reputation, a fine and crucial instrument. Your reputation changes the world you see, for it is a mirror, wouldn't you agree? And so a bad reputation can get you into a lot of trouble. For example, oh, need I describe? You've got a vivid imagination. Everything changes from mystical aspects to the mundane things like people you need treating you badly. How many enemies you've got, how high the prices are, how bad the dreams are, lots of things. A sorry prospect. So how do I maintain my reputation? Really? How is that even a question? Same as anywhere. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not betray, do not steal, do not covet, do not be an asshole, do not get caught. The rules are the same everywhere. A truly selfless deed, like risking something for thy neighbor or even a person who lives quite far away, can help in a dire situation. I see. Really? Good for you then. As for me, I can't see anything in this mask. I have no idea what's going on. Anyway, don't get too worked up about human lives, and don't put too much stock into the other worlds, mine's included. He who trusts everyone is asking to be deceived. Yet he who trusts no one is deluded. I know that from experience. Alright. Let's go check out the backyard. What do you want? This ain't your business. What is this creature? The udong, duh. That's what them cattle breeders look like, crude and unshapely and unfinished, don't you know? Wherever you came from, an intruder, huh? Yes, I'm a visitor in this town. Who could have thought it was home to such creatures? The worm feels sick. Head packed, blood boiling, belly freezing. Let the worm warm up. Let him take a rest. Don't touch us, we're dangerous. Oh, that's some stench. How do you even live like that? God, he's such an asshole. I'll leave them alone because... who cares? I know Ava is just like, I have a bad feeling. But it's like... also, it's very clearly this is the quote-unquote good part of town. So... you know how that goes. Alright, something I know is I'm gonna want to dig in the trash. The boys, they still yell. I don't think it matters if people see you dig in the trash, but I'm gonna still be anxious about it anyway. I'm gonna just start with kind of the intro of this game before talking to, like, strangers on the street, etc. I like how there's a jump in this game. Kind of feels like it's not a game that needs it, but I like that I can do it. Like, the graphics of this game aren't the best by any means, but I think this game does look really, really good. It has such a clear aesthetic image to it and kind of style that I really, really like. Like, what time is it? Oh, it's not even 7 a.m.
In growing old, we become more foolish and more wise.
Most venerable doctor, it is with great impatience that we have been expecting you. You need not delve into the minutiae of your business with us, since our family is well acquainted with your scholarly work. We're also quite aware of your difficulties you were experiencing and well prepared to do our utmost to support you. It hurts me all the more to be the one to inform you that Simon, my consanguineous brother, the creator, keeper, and embodiment of all that surrounds us, has been murdered. Can't believe it. Damn it. Who did it? I can't believe it. It cannot be. My brother was murdered last night, under the strangest of circumstances, but for all the mystery surrounding his death, I'd rather eschew the notion that of his departure was connected with whoever had visited Simon that evening. The visitor is a man of laudable rectitude and an old friend of our family. There are witnesses to testify that he and Simon did nothing but converse. Who was the visitor? Someone you know quite well. The man whom my brother saw last night was your colleague, Isidore Barak. Was he not the very person that would advise you to come here as well? I would have told you that I had been brought here by the hand of fate not so long ago, a naive man that I was. I like making him wax poetic. Isidore has done more than he thinks. I have a lingering feeling that time itself is using uncontestable powers to further its own intentions. What do you think? Let's see. I'm no fatalist. Fate is like time, nature died to prime man responsibility for what goes on around him. I was taught to avoid this work view. Let's do this one. It could be that my mind is closed by sorrow, but it cannot escape the feeling that your arrival was no coincidence. Your choice was made for you, my dear doctor. Let us not blame fate for it. Isidore wrote to you without making us aware. He took a risk that could have displeased our family. Really? Even though we were uncertain of when you would arrive, my brother was looking forward to meeting you. The tragedy may have been a consequence of the actions he took in preparation for your arrival. Someone has taken a very powerful piece from the test board, a piece upon which your position here depended on. It is doubly regrettable that Simon was playing on your side. Or is this doubly regrettable that Simon was playing on your side? You seen the queen knew of the blow and sacrificed for it a pawn? So you presume the king knew of the blow and sacrificed itself for a pawn. But why? To grant you victory over death. Was it not your ultimate aspiration? To help you, Simon seems to have played a very dangerous game with fate itself. He went out of his way to provide you with a body of evidence. What did he do? It is of no importance to me exactly what he did. He took another leap for the stars and paid a terrible price for it. I repeat, he was murdered. The subject of importance here is the identity of the murderer. Everything has gone to wreck and ruin. I wish I could take vengeance upon the person who ripped the life from this man. Do you want to help us, Doctor? Find their murderer for us? My dear brother Victor, who is in the wing next door, would share some of his thoughts on the matter. Help us, and the reward will not disappoint you. Let's see. Indeed, there are too many coincidences. Your brother's murder can just be called the murder of Bachelor Denkovsky. I will help you in any way I can. I am convinced that if there is anyone who can help us solve the puzzle, then it is you. This mission calls for someone as astute and inventive as yourself. You see, Isidore was an instrument of fate, and Simon's murder is a message that fate intended for you personally. Do not think I am inclined to blame you for that. I am not. How do you plan to look for the murder? We will take our own measures. The only thing I expect from you is to be yourself. Do what you think is required. Whatever you find out, whatever you do, whatever your day turns into, everything is a clue to the solution of this puzzle. I repeat, everything that is happening here is happening on your account. Fine. I'm fine with this course of action. Alright, that's where Victor lives. He can tell me more about Simon's manner of death. Alright. Nope, that was the quest sigil. In pursuit of a killer. To find out who killed the immortal Simon Kane? The man's own family may not want it more than I do. I do have an abiding desire to punish the murderer, to eradicate them. No matter if they were acting on their own account or at the behest of the powers that be. Whoever they were, they picked a moment far too well. There's something interesting here that the letter states that,
I'm too old. Nothing can harm me anymore.
That's not true. That's not true, my man. But there is something interesting about thinking about deception and manipulation in this game. Kind of makes you think about like why anyone is saying the things that they're saying. There is something interesting because it is unclear whether Isidore knew of what was coming, but also there's a real chance that he knew as well. It really depends on how fast, whatchamacallit, the, it really depends on just, like, how frequent the, how, like, long the mail took, and, like, but if there were signs of a plague, people would have known beforehand and stuff like that. You know, you have to get the actors on the stage somehow. Baby on its head. Hello.
I fear that Simon's death is a symbolic event.
The famous Dr. Denkovsky. Your arrival is a great honor for us. Victor Kane at your service. Dendil Denkovsky at yours. I foresee that the things have become ordinary for us will probably make you feel uncomfortable and disturbed. I would like to compensate for that impression. You know, our small community has fallen out of the loop. Time leaves us behind. What do you mean? I mean the traditions. The games that we play with passion will most likely be of no interest to you. The people you meet here may seem eccentric, naive, or even somewhat deranged. Please take it easy on us. Don't judge us too strictly. I will do my best to not disappoint you.
What?
What? It's like the first conversation you have with this man is him being like, there are some weirdos here, so, like, don't judge us too much. You're kind of just like an outsider. How can I help you? Gregory has told me everything, which is to say he told me very little, but it was enough to astound me. He maintains that you can provide a more detailed account. So, you have agreed to help us? I have. May I ask why? The killer's golems seem to lie astonishingly well. We say a tragedy. I want to solve a puzzle. Let's see, which one do I like more? I do like the waxing poetic. It's like so selfish. It's like, I know your brother is dead, but let me talk about myself. Let's see. We share a tragedy. I want to exact vengeance upon the one who has robbed me and my work of a future. I am prepared to answer any questions you may have. When was Simon last seen? He sent Isidore home. Then, an hour later, he came to this hall to see us. He announced his plans to withdraw to the Focus and receive no one. He told us not to approach the Focus and to fast for a week, partaking in of neither meat nor water. Then, in the morning, he was found dead. Why no meat or water? Our explanation is that he wanted to be warned beforehand, as is the custom with the local people. This is very like him. So he knew in advance that he would die? I think, between me and you, that is precisely what my brother Gregory fears. I can say nothing more about that. How was the body discovered? The servants discovered him in the morning. The room had been ransacked. Everything that was breakable had been broken. His disfigured, contorted body bore signs of a terrible suffering. His neck was twisted, his spine broken, I think. No one has touched the body. It is currently inside the Focus and will remain there for a prescribed amount of time. What is this Focus place? It's hard to understand. It's hard to explain. It's a study, if you will, an extraordinarily spacious creative laboratory, almost perfectly sealed off except for the door that was visible at all times, metaphorically speaking. I don't understand. It's like an equation, or a mirror puzzle. Anyway, the murderer could have not been hiding there. Take my word for it. Well, Simon did get in there somehow. He could perform far more impressive feats. There's a reason why the whole town revered him. Alright, so how can I help you? Just take a look around. Trust your intuition. Do whatever you'd like. Speak to whoever you feel the need to. Look for the murderer, Doctor, and if you find them, and you will find them, keep looking to the last breath. I'm sure your rational thinking will help you. So Isidore is the only lead. How can I help find him? I show you, but you must be careful. Simon's murderer, whoever they are, could not be an ordinary person. I can't even imagine them being a person. A fear could only be fate, wearing the guise of a mysterious monster. I will be careful. Isidore Burak's house. Alright, so time to go talk to Maria, who will probably tell me more about all this. The play imagery is like hammered in so early on in this game, which adds a very interesting element of oh man, they're really yelling out there. Sorry. which adds kind of like an interesting element to what's am I thinking? To like what everyone is saying, right? Like Simon Kane is the crux of the story. He has to die for the plot to continue. He is not a character who you see on screen, but he is important nonetheless, just like Isidore Barak. I'm very interested in kind of seeing how this game plays more into the theater and play imagery and like the idea of stories. Yeah, like I can sleep in any bed. Oh, Danielle, let's go on this horse. Anyway. Yeah, just hanging out in my bedroom with my desk, with my book and my dagger, my knife.
Great souls are not those who have fewer passions and more virtues than the common, but those only who have greater designs.
Like, I understand that you either make the choice of showing there being a mirror, but like I feel like they could have just had it not be visible. Like, you don't need to have it be reflective. I know that technology is difficult.
Great souls are not those who have fewer passions and more virtues than the common, but those only who have greater designs.
Yeah, sorry, I'll talk to you now.
Great souls are not those who have fewer passions and
Okay, I've
more
heard this.
virtues than the common.
You resemble an adventurer
Those
rather than a
only who have
doctor.
greater designs.
How do you know me? Who are you? I'm an adventurer. Appearances can be deceiving. How is it that you know me? I saw you in a dream. Don't flatter yourself. My desires have nothing to do with that. I simply saw you take us all by the throat. Malignant words. But also honest. What is so bad about it anyway? The strong manipulate the weak when they want to. Then it is all in my hands.
The Saburovs' wait is over. They've always wanted an heir.
Now listen closely. The time for collusion, secrets, and alliances has come. I'm going to ask something of you. I am not used to that. I'm used to holding the reins. But you are not harnessed, so it'll be unacceptable to address you in this manner. I find solace in the fact that my request will be welcome with you. It fits the style of your venture. I'm not an adventurer. My job is an adventurer. Yes, you better be polite. I don't take kindly to orders. I'm a creature of liberty. He sucks so bad. He's such an asshole. I apologize if my words come across as mangled and silly. I am truly not used to asking, but the nature of my request demands complete and selfless humility. Just imagine me begging and kneeling, and believe me, I do feel that way. I do myself, no need to kneel. What did you want to talk about? Today's death was the first, but it won't be the last. Simon has opened the score of your irreplaceable victims. Soon, their number will multiply. I beg you to preserve the lives of several people when the lives of their fortune cross yours. Before any of them dies, there will be a moment when you will be able to intervene. I know that for a fact. How? I had a vision. I'm clairvoyant. I will become the nocturnal queen soon, just like my beloved sorceress mother used to be. So you want me to take care of them? And to turn back the wheel that is about to crush us? Yes, this is my last hope. Perhaps at least you are the master of your fate? Even Simon cannot boast this title now. How would you reward me if 10 days' time people were still alive? Would you go with me to the capital? I'm only staying here for a day or two anyway. God. I'd like him to wax poetic. Oh, your beauty is only matched by your intelligence. You know how to push my buttons. Are you really a sorceress? God fucking asshole. That doesn't... Yeah, no, me too, girl. That doesn't matter. What was destined to happen will happen. You can be whatever you want to be, but a coward, not a coward choosing to hear no evil and run away from reality. I will give you a list of those, I know. These people are bound to you. Bound? There is a tight sprig of power, of which within each of these people, each of them can break the routine of human existence and become something greater. They are standing on the verge of their humanity, gazing into the realm where they could serve a different, higher purpose, without even knowing it. Moreover, they are bound to make the leap, in one way or another. That's why we call them simply the bound. When and how are these people supposed to die? Bound to die. There is no way to shy away from it. That is also implied. You didn't answer my question, Maria. How and when will they die? I don't know. I'm not a mistress yet. The future is not as clear to me as I would prefer, but I can feel the present. I can already distinguish a dubious guess from the pulse of your precise knowledge, devoid of words and images. These people are bound to you. Your lives are connected. I wouldn't have asked you to take care of them otherwise. Are you clairvoyant or something? She said it! Yes. You haven't been told, have you? It didn't even cross my mind that someone may be unaware of my abilities. No one here dares to doubt them, for they are evident. Yes, the mistress of every Luling house possesses special abilities. I am learning to see the future and transform the present. Will you comply with my request? Will you save the people of the lives of the people I name to you? Answer me before going back to Ava. Alright, if it's truly within my power, I'll do my best to save their lives. Whatever happens, these people must live. Their fates are bound to mine. They may as well hold the keys to the victory in their hands. Gregory Kane, Victor Kane, Andrei Stamatin, Peter Stamatin, Maria Kena, Eva Jan, and Mark Immortel. Alright. Let's go back to Ava. Alright. Took a brief... Oh, my good friends, they're back. I took a brief break to feed the cats, and so we're back. This town is rather small and rather unexceptional, isn't it? But there are all kinds of people here. The simple folk and the more remarkable ones. The former will tell you more than they know. The latter will know way more than they're ever going to let out. Keep a close eye on them. Your victory depends on it. And who are these remarkable people? There are 20-something of them, easily distinguished by their lodgings or their presence. They're called many names. The Bound, the Fated, the Adherents, the Gobo Tagler, the Town Circle. Simon preferred their company to any other. Why? Because it is likely that they'll decide the fate of this town. Don't be distracted by the fact that some of them look insignificant or disreputable. They will earn their worth. You just give them time. They're the most important joints of the town. Why are you telling me this? Each day, one of them will try death by the tooth. Each will put their life at risk, and each one that dies is important. Some of them may take keys of victory to the grave. Mind that the keys are yours, while the grave is theirs. Others will do the opposite. Don't waste your chance to condemn someone who may get in your way. How do you know what is helpful and what gets in the way? Okay, alright. Dropping you more hints would be cheating. Shutting up now. Allow me to conclude then. Each bound you save will influence the finale of your adventure. Each of them has their own goals and motives. It may so happen that those who seek a different ending survive. And then, well, you've been warned. Okay, I'll take that into account and I'll be careful. There is something in particular we feel the urge to warn you about. When you speak to the Bound, please choose your words carefully. Do not worry. You will easily be able to make out what kind of person is standing before you, an observant man that you are. So use that skill when dealing with the Bound. Some of them are indeed worth insulting, whereas others need to be treated with the utmost respect. I have no idea. If I ever engage in conversations with someone, it won't be for personal gain. Each conversation will bring you a small profit, depending on the outcome, of course. Depending on the outcome, every line you utter will have consequences. News spreads rapidly around here. If you spoil your reputation in one place, you'll have to reap what you have sown in another. Restore your good name in the south, and you'll receive a warmer welcome in the north. They will heed every word you say, and you will be rewarded. Good. Alright. Let's go to our friend Ava Yan. The Shadow of the Polyhedron. When I played this game initially with console commands, I turned on God mode and climbed all the way to the top, and then I accidentally fell off into the geometry outside, which means I couldn't get back in, so I had to teleport myself to Ava. Hello. Anything I can help you with? No, thank you. Okay, nothing to tell me. Hop, 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 Bonk. Anything I can do for you? I'd be much obliged if you helped me learn how to get around your town. There is more than one town here. The first one is called the Bull Project. The second one, the offspring of the project, is the districts. I mean, the residential part itself. Not so long ago, the town also dropped anchor across the river, but I wouldn't go as far as to call that part a district too. It's just the polyhedron. Tell me about the Bull Project, the districts, the peculiar way to call the town itself, what's inside the polyhedron. Tell me about the Bull Project. It's the industrial base of the town. The station, the warehouses, the works, and the abattoir all belong to it. I wouldn't recommend going there. It's not an appropriate place from the capital. It's filthy there, and the stench. I'd say it's not an appropriate place for anyone at all. Didn't think about going there anyway. Say, how come such a tiny town is divided into districts? Well, it just sort of came that way. The Gullet, the Guzzle, the Gorkhorn tributaries divide the town into 3 parts. Each of them consists of separate courtyards, so maybe that's the reason. And what are those parts? The lower part adjacent to the abattoir is called Earth. The one between the Gullet and the Guzzle we call the Knots. And the triangular promontory between the Guzzle and the Gorkhorn is the Stone Yard. That's intricate. What about the districts' names? The Stone Yard consists of 2 districts. The Bridge Square, the Atrium, plus the Mistress's Tomb, of course. Earth has 4 residential districts. The Skinner, the Tanners, the Hindquarters, and the Crude Sprawl. In the middle. Is something wrong? I'm just not sure you need any of this. The Knots have 7 districts. The spleen, the marrow, the chine, the backbone, the mouth, the flank, and the gut. I don't suppose you need more details. Surely the Canes will show you around. They are expecting you, after all. Much obliged. I'm going to ask you about the polyhedron now. What's inside the polyhedron? Nothing, really. The children like to play there, I guess, and they say it's perfectly empty, bare as the palm of your hand. What could there even be inside such a monstrosity? I find it unbelievable that it's still standing at all. I'd never let my children near the damn thing. Ever. So you'd never been there yourself? Kids don't like it when we grown-ups try to visit them in the polyhedron. Not like there's anything special in there. Why would anyone want to climb that thing? Okay, and I want that. Then tell me about the town hall. The town hall is the most useless place in the whole town, I'm telling you. The only thing it's good for is taking up space. It's the most prominent building in the background. Sinister. And still useless. Why useless? Because we are ruled by the, well, rulers. There are no officials around here. No need for them, too. You want to know what's up there? Meh, in the town hall? The post office and the jail, nothing more. It's fine. They'll finally repurpose the building someday. Turn it into a school, maybe? Whatever the facility would be, it would be better use. A jewel instead of a jail? Great idea. What is the termitary? Two massive buildings in the eastern part of Earth. The cemetery marks the district's order. Beyond there is only the abattoir and the steppe itself. People do not belong there. Why? Well, they just don't. It's not a people place. But someone has to work there, right? Some folk do. The steppe people, the butchers. That's way outside of your area of expertise, believe me. That was intriguing, my good man. The warehouse is a district as well. It's really interesting as soon as we talk about the people of the steppe and like factory workers and of like the poor districts. Sorry, there was a hair in my mouth. Let's see, okay. The warehouse is a district as well, right? It is, but there's not much to tell about it. It consists of two parts. The first part is where everything the town's exported is stored. Meat, sausage, ham, bone meal, and so on. The other one stores various hardware, and also the manufactured goods that the regular train delivers. And how do I get there? It's in the knots, the southeasternmost part to be precise, to the east of the station. The meat warehouses are the ones closest to the station. The hardware ones are closer to town. There's a railroad track running between them. Thank you. Okay. That's all I'm getting from that guy. Oh yeah, there's apparently a graveyard over, where is it? Yeah. It's like a graveyard somewhere that gets free stuff that you can just take. It doesn't affect your reputation or anything, even though it's an offering to a dead woman, but I think that's fine. Hello. Good morals and luck are great at managing a small community without resorting to violence. Personal standing can work wonders. What do you mean? I like our town. We're all one big family. But sometimes I get the feeling that we're all controlled by an unseen power. Our actions but fiction. It's quite possible. Interesting. Yes, bottle. Let me in. Bread. Anything else? Milk? I'd love to be milked by a grave. If I could. Come on. Let me interact with the milk. There we go. Milk. You can just hang out in here. Like, I'm a grown man. I can fit there no problem. If jumping is making me more exhausted, then I guess I'll die. Okay, doesn't seem to be. Let me make a save. Okay, so... Alright, oh, let's head to Ava. Forgot that that's what we wanted to do. And then we'll go to Isidore Burak. Woof woof. Let's buy some clothes. What's poppin'? What do we got? Needle. Kerosene. You have nothing I need at all. Bye. But yeah. What have I been doing since we last spoke, you and I? Finally kind of getting a solid handle on the job after basically a year at this point, almost, give or take. My cat is meowing at me. Alright. Let's see. I've learned how to make fudge. Not as hard as it seems. You just need a big pot and a candy thermometer. Yes. And then let's see if there's anything I can get inside the medicine store. Oh, there's a playground. Yeah, I mean, again, this is partially future knowledge speaking, but I want to get stuff while it's still relatively cheap. What do we got? We got some Metadorm, a painkiller, and some alpha tablets. Okay. Let's get some Metadorm. Let's get some painkillers. Bonk. Should probably grab a food, but whatever. Should save my money on food. Yoink. Bottle. Okay. Let's go to Ava. Strafe. Alright. Alrighty, and then... What time is it? 9 o'clock, we're good, we're fine. Yeah, the goal is that, yeah, for the first day, you kind of have to be done by 2100. Luckily, out of, like, all the days, the first day is pretty manageable. It's very, very straightforward and not very complicated, especially if you kind of have an internal map, of which I do. I kind of just know this town already because I played this game a few times, or at least played the intro a number of times. Hey!
Yes?
That ominous singing outside my window is gnawing at me. Who could be singing at a time like this? Very little time has passed, but I feel hungry and exhausted again. Since you've decided to fight death, you will have to be very careful. It's September. You will be dying with every breath of our air. What am I supposed to do? Let's see. What does September have to do with it? The steppe is full of various herbs. They fill the air with dizzying vapors. White whip, twire, and severity are dangerous in August and September. When herbs surrender their juices to the sun, people tend to get headaches this time of year. Heart sufferers lie in bed with pains. My heart aches too. How do people live here? Twire is a rare herb, so usually it's bearable. But this year it's unbelievably plentiful. The elders say that this is phenomenal. Nothing like this has happened before. They think it's a bad omen. Well, I don't believe that, but the air is droning. Can't you feel it? Don't you feel dizzy? Yes, the hair is heavy. You need to sleep often. Never go hungry. Drink more water. You need to look after yourself properly. If you feel sick, forget everything else and get some rest. Otherwise, you may die of a heart attack or bleeding. Be careful, alright? The more I think and do, the faster I die. That's symbolism if I ever saw it. Alright. So we've talked to Eva. Let's go meet Isidore Burak. Or talk to this tiny child first. Shirtless child. Hey, you, don't you mess with us. We know a thing or two about life. Let's see. Oh, there's lots of stuff. Why are you so bristled up? It has begun. A crushing blow to the soul and a halves is being prepared. There are almost 70 dogheads. No one will escape their doom. Who are the soul and a halves and dogheads? The soul and a halves have a soul and a half, and the dogheads have dogheads. It's super clear. As you can see, it's a clash of ideas. It's a matter of principle. It's an us or them situation. There will be no mercy. You've got some fierce games. A game to some, destiny to others. I hope you avoid manslaughter. Sorry, child. We're talking now. Tell me about the hindquarters. Hey ho, the hindquarters is a merry district. It's an earth above the factories, on the bank of the gullet. That's where the ominous willows are, and a house of ill repute, and a pub called the Factus Est. The twins tend to spend their time at the ladder, so staying there is dangerous for both your life and sanity. What's the Willows? A malicious wench lives there. Name's Anna Angel. Proud potato if I ever seen one. He used to be a famous singer, and now she's dealing in spells and hexes. We'd smash our windows with stones, if not for the respect we used to have for the previous owner. Who lived there before? A girl named Willow Mellow used to live there, and then she died. That's how it goes. No one would have thought about it twice had she not died right after offering shelter to poor Anna Angel. Grace says that Willow was buried in a closed coffin, and that coffin was suspiciously light. Spooky, isn't it? Are you kidding me? Haha, yeah, so I pricked you? Now excuse me, I'm a hopple angry. We'll talk another time. Hey! We're not done talking, young man. Tell me about the polyhedron. That's where the youngest Cain, Casper, styled Khan, has fortified. There are more than 1,000 children up there now. Almost every child in the town went to the polyhedron, except for the urchins, orphans, and bold daredevils like me. Are you trying to tell me they live there? Well, the older ones do. The younger kids just come to play. But yesterday, everyone who's older than 3 or younger had a huge gathering there. They're hiding. From the parents? From Fate, Bachelor. From Fate, yeah! Good for them. Tell me about the crude sprawl. Bah, it's the most rottenest place ever. The soil breathes there as if it could swallow you whole. A real bog. What could you possibly need in that place? Nothing, just curious. The Tanners District? A menacing place. It's in the northwest Cape of Earth, in the backside of town. That's where the Rod Subarov's mansion is. We don't play there. Alexander is not to be trifled with. You never know when his strict gaze turns toward you. What's so bad about it? Well, who knows? So don't ever mess with the Subarovs. Then again, the wife, Katerina, is not only a witch, but also a mistress. I was too young to see any of the old mistresses. Katerina was the last one, though I've never seen her either. Shush, why are you shaking? I'm not making you go there. Tell me about the Skinners District. What's there to tell? It's just a district. In Earth, the northernmost in the western districts. It's further north than the Torminary. Ah, actually, a good friend of mine, Sticky, lives there. Sticky, the nuthatch. You know what the nuthatch is? It's a very sly snake. Actually, it's a very nice bird. And where does Sticky live? Well, in a house on the bank of the river, Gorkon. It's actually tricky to find. When you're there, just ask someone. They'll show you. I will. Thanks. Thanks, kid. Alright. Learning a lot from these wise children. Yeah, apparently children are a great source of many things, and they're very useful. I've already talked to you. No, thank you. Alright. Hello, hello. We all know about you. What are you so happy about, girl? We've almost caught the unseen cat. Want to come see it? Where did you find such a cat? Well, it's the famous pale cat. Its eyes are like translucent emeralds, its fur is gray, and its body is completely transparent. So what, can you see its bowels too? The light passes right through her. It's very pretty, but most importantly, she's invisible in the dark, and rodents can't hear her. That's how light her step is. She belongs to the pale obtuse. The what obtuse? Ah, it's no use. I know you wouldn't believe me anyways. Just come over and see the cat for yourself when it gets dark. It's by the 12th warehouse. The password is, hell froze over. I'll do my best not to forget this intricate phrase. Let's see, what's up? Soul and a Half's got an opportunity to catch their breath. This is good. Now everyone will have time to prepare. Otherwise, we'd have to mourn our boys. And the Halves would be orphaned. Souls and a Halves? It's just a catchy name. Nopkin says it's because each of them has a familiar. A cat, a dog, a crow, or a grass snake. Half a soul, more than the normal person. Or a normal animal. I thought the locals believe that the normal person is supposed to have one soul. Isn't soul splitting only reserved for your steppe abominations by the local folklore? Me, a stranger to your town, I'm going to tell you what I think. Are you nuts? The Shabnak don't have a soul at all. Although, perhaps Notkin had finally done it. He used to make fun of the old legends, taunted the steppes, played spirits. So perhaps a Shabnak came to show him his place. What do those do, those souls and a half of yours? It's a lifestyle that's larger than life. If you join a soul and a half, you have to adopt a pet. As you raise it, you change. Then when it's grown and it gets the other way around, your half begins to take care of you. And so you are always together, bound forever. And what if the animal dies? I don't know. No half has ever died before. What kind of soul a half are you that your familiar can die? They wouldn't take you in the first place. Naturally. Let's see. Tell me about the cemetery. Dad won't let me go there. No one's parents let them. We're not even allowed to come close. Why? Is it dangerous? It's the people there. They aren't bad, but they can do you a lot of harm. They believe, for example, that it's okay to eat other people. Or if a person is buried alive, it's seen as a gift for them, a great honor. Generally, the cemetery people can do something abominable to you. Can anyone do anything about them? It's not like they actively hurt anyone. They just have their own way. They're all kin to one another. But who knows? It can be dumb to get on their nerves. It's like going into a beast's cage. Who can tell you what's on their mind? Makes sense. It's like really clear that that's not her own opinion. Tell me about the abattoir. Ooh, it's creepy. Not only are you not supposed to go there, you shouldn't even mention it without need. Why such extensive precautions? Brother says it's inhabited by gods so old that beasts used to believe in them before humans even came to exist. What? You aren't even supposed to go there. Okay. Alright. Alright. There's a lot of cool architecture. We got a lot of stairways to heaven, as they're called. Let's see. We wanna... I always forget what button I'm supposed to press. We want to go up there. Alright. So I'm thinking, without getting interrupted like a billion million more times, I'm going to head over there to progress that part of the story, and then I am going to, whatchamacallit? I am going to pause for now. Because I feel like I've been going for a little bit. I've taken a couple breaks, yes, but also that's the theater. We'll be hitting there quite frequently. Daily. Hello! I'm not talking to these people. I'm not talking to them. I'll talk to them later. Otherwise, we'll be here forever. Yeah, the next episode we can finish talking to all the folks that live in this town. And then, whatchamacallit, and then finish off the day, or at least that's the plan anyway. Because I have to talk to the women, the factory workers, the drunkards, the tiny girls, and the tiny boys. Talk to everybody else who's relevant in that respect. Oh, let's get some food. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Hello! What do we got? We got a lemon, we got egg, we got fresh fish. Apparently fresh fish is good, so I want to buy that. Alright, cool. Bye! Bam. Alright. Let us head to Isidore's house. Anything interesting in here? But it has the sign. Let's see, what do we got? Apparently fresh meat is good to have. Nuts are good to trade with children. Let's grab some smoked meat. There we go. Sounds good. Bam! Bye! Where am I? Okay, almost there. Okay, so I guess the entrance is like one of the sides. Okay, I think it's that side, so I have to walk all the way around. Alright, let's get going. This is the right way. Yes, it is. Hello, sirs. I can't get in there. Tying your shoes? Okay, I'll talk to you then. A foul murder occurred here this night. No unauthorized access allowed. Inspecting the crime scene is strictly forbidden until further notice. Is this a bad dream or something? Can someone wake me up, please? Whoever killed our only doc must surely be looking to get us all killed. Isidore could cure anything. He also knew how to make cuts or incisions because he was a warden. He knew his lines all right. Like I said, it all makes sense. Whoever killed Simon took Isidore's life too, and this is merely the beginning. What makes you think the two cases are connected? Well, who would have the heart to attack such men? If you'd asked me yesterday, I told you that no one would dare inflict such an ugly wound on this town. But if there is someone, just has to be that. Someone. Although it looks fishy if you ask me. That thing was no man. That's what I think. Explain yourself. See, this murderous deal is all mysterious. There was a talon stuck in the victim's chest. Go ahead, bend your arm at the elbow. Good, sir. Yeah, just like that. Here you go. That's how long it was. It broke off. There was dust on the floor, for the deceased had been a renowned stepwalker. And dust was all over covered in hoopsteps and like traces of sharp bone, I guess? As if someone was using a walking stick around here. I'm telling you, it's her. The Shabnakajer, the clay man-eater. I want to inspect the building. We've been assigned to this post by Alexander, the head of the Saburov family. His house is in decline right now, but it's still powerful and very much respected, for it's them that are responsible for maintaining worldly order and a public safety in this town since olden days. Please kindly address your concerns to him. There's their rod, if you just take the road up there and get to the cape. As for me, I'm not authorized to let you in. Should have just said so from the start. Kinda did say so from the start. Alright. Okay, let's take a look at my quest log. Let's see. My gentle associate, my selfless advisor Isidore Barak was the last person to see Simon Kane alive. But if it wasn't for Barak's guidance, I would have never have come to the backwoods domain. All the more reason to start my pursuit with him. Isidore Barak was murdered. The local authorities have sealed off his house. Alexander Saburov, the head of the Saburov family, has taken control of all the proceedings regarding law and order in this town. The Saburov family are one of the 3 families that govern the town, and Alexander was the person to take immediate measures after the discovery of Isidore's body. Alright. Oh, wrong button. Haha. That was console commands. Alright. Make a save. Alright. Alright. And so I think that is it for this episode of Pathologic Classic HD. My goal next episode is to finish off the first day and get into the second, talk to all the NPCs, and get some side quests in. I will do my best to try to complete them to the best of my ability. I do know there's one quest that's a little gated by, like, money. So I might not be able to do that, but, you know, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not, you know, we'll get there. I can't wait till I get to a part of this game that I know nothing about, so I can't even be like, well, I know I need food for tomorrow, or, oh, I know I need this and that. It'll be more like, you know? But yeah, that's it for this episode. Hopefully getting back into the Let's Game groove, as it were. And I hope to see you guys again soon. I hope you guys have a great one. Bye!